Hello everyone, I'm Océane. So today I'm gonna present you Guy, who's one of my English friends I met a few months ago in New Zealand, and who came to visit me a few weeks ago in Lyon. So I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, my name's Guy, and I'm a history master's student from York in England. And to prove I'm English, I'm drinking tea. In my spare time, I like to row in the rowing team. Um, I like to run. Um, I help a luthier on weekends to make violins or repair violins and violin bows. I like to hike and to camp and to travel.
So the first time I met Guy was because I was living with him and 8 other people in Auckland. So during the 6 months I was living with him, we did a lot of things together, such as going camping, skiing, and lots of other adventures. And also our second meeting was when he came in Lyon a few weeks ago. And we enjoy our time to go to visit the city, Lyon, taste the Lyonese gastronomy, etc. So before meeting Guy, I only knew I was gonna live with different people and one Englishman among them. So I automatically thought about all the stereotypes linked to the English people, such as I imagined them wearing a trench jacket every day and with an umbrella because it was always raining. But also I imagined them drinking tea all day long, uh, having some terrible food at every lunch, and eating a lot of roast beef and fish and chips on Sundays. And also, I imagined them as being super polite all the time with everyone.
The stereotypes I had, or that I thought might be true, and the views that I had of French people were liking cheese, lots of cheese, um, eating baguette. Um, you always think of French people having a cigarette, maybe from the French movies. We have a view of the French as having pencil mustache, beret, um, stripy blue and white t-shirt, onions around their neck, a red handkerchief round their neck, and to smell of garlic a lot on their breath.
So the first difference I noticed was obviously during the greetings when he hugged me and I was going to do la bise. The second thing I noticed after a few conversations was the sense of humor. It's interesting to see how he was making fun of himself instead of making fun of others to make jokes. Another thing is the relationship to food. Each time to meet, I was proposing to have lunch or have dinner or meet somewhere and have the food in the center of the meeting. But it wasn't that important for him. And finally, I observed that he had a lot of manners, as I expected. Full of manners, always being sorry of anything, even though he didn't have to be sorry for me. Now, talking about the cultural dimensions of the French and the British culture, I first noticed an important difference between the power distance of French people and British people. Um, the power distance is much higher in France, and it's reflected by a few situations. When I was talking to Guy, he used to manage a hotel and was always telling me about his colleague and how friends they were. In France, it wouldn't be that obvious, as he was supposed to be the manager. Then talking about individualism, both countries are characterized as individualistics. Maybe the UK is a bit higher, more oriented about the individual rather than the groups and the collective aspect. Also, concerning the masculinity, the degree of masculinity of the country, the UK is represented as a very masculine country where individuals are driven by success, competition, and obsessed by being the best. Whereas in France, French people are more oriented to the quality of life and caring for others. After that, we can see a real difference concerning the uncertainty avoidance. In France, we don't like surprises, and we want informations of everything. Whereas in England, English people tend to like not to see the uncertainty as a risk, but more as an opportunity. Finally, both countries are long-term oriented. France is a bit higher, and it can be explained as it can better adapt its traditions to the changing conditions.